What's up guys, Edgar over here, and today in this video we want to make the configuration of 802.1x using the wireless access point as the authenticator. I'm going to show you a simple process that 802.1x takes in place when we enabled that protocol using a access point as authenticator. Basically, the 802.1.11 association process create a virtual port for the wireless LAN client on the access point. The second step that it takes, the access point blocks all data frames apart from the 802.1x traffic. And this is important because we need to verify that the wireless client has the correct credentials in order to allow that traffic or the regular traffic, for example, TCP and UDP on all the protocols that are part of the network. Then the 802.1x frames carry the EAP or Extensible Authentication Protocol authentication packets, which are passed through the server by the access point. And if the EAP authentication is successful, the radio server sends an EAP success message to the access point, so the access point then will allow the data traffic from the wireless LAN client to pass through the virtual port. So we are going to use a Windows Server 2016 with the network policy server as the radio server, and I have also a D-Link 645 version, I guess, as the access point. It will act as the authenticator. So basically right now I'm connected in my Mac. So this is the wireless client, and the authentication server will be the Windows Server operating system. So let's go and open the Windows Server virtual server. So let's go and open the server manager, and at this point you must have installed and configure the Active Directory Domain Services role, the Network Policy Server role, and the Active Directory Certificate Services role. If you don't have this, I put a link in the window so you can click on that and follow that video prior to continue to this one. So let's go and open the NPS AS. Right click on the server that is participating with this role, which is my domain controller, and open the network policy server window. Right now we are in the place that we make the whole configuration for the NPS on the 802.1s. Okay, so you can make the configuration manually by moving up and down on this settings, but you know it's more easy and when you use the wizard. So I'm going to click on this section and use the 802.1x wireless or wired connection. Once you click on that, we click on configure 802.1x. Then we need to specify which type of 802.1x connection, because you can use a wired connection or wireless. Okay, so we are using the wireless for this video. Next. And then in this area is where we specify the authenticator. In this case will be the access point that we are interested right now. So let's go open the browser. I'm going to leave this. And basically the IP for the access point is 192.168.25.50. And then I'm going to show you also how I implement the topology in this network. Basically, I have a radio server NPS. This is basically the Windows Server 2016. It's connected to a switch, and that switch I also have a access point connected. The router has have the rules. For example, it has the DHCP role, has a firewall, UTM, IPS, and all that stuff. But for now, I'm going to point that the access point will only work and will provide only the wireless connection role, only that. We don't have anything connected to the access point, such as one port or to the ISP or DHCP or different routes or such as that things. So basically, we have the 192.168.25.50 IP address for the access point. So we are going to open that. I'm going to add that access point. That's going to call AP. And the IP address for this guy is 192.168.25.50. 192.25.50. Also, I have a domain name resolution server here. So if I type Wi-Fi and verify and resolve this, that's the name that I use that I configure already for the A record into the DNS server. So it's you can do whatever, either Wi-Fi with DNS or IP. Doesn't matter. So the search secret basically is a password that we use to provide a communication between the radio server to the access point, because the access point, as we remember from the process, the access point will act as the authenticator between the communication from the wireless client to the radio server. So it's good to use a complex password with possibly you can use a key management software or password creator, but for the purpose of this video, because I'm going to use a secret as the password, because this network is not reaching it's not reachable from the outside. I have a firewall rule on the H router, and this one that is blocking the traffic from this VLAN to get outside the internet. Okay, so the password is secret. We click OK. We then click next, and this is the type of methods that we have to configure the extensible authentication protocol. I'm going to use the Microsoft protected PEAP, and we click on configure if you want to see. And basically we need the, as I mentioned before, the Active Directory certificate services install and running, because we need to use that certificate for the certificate authority, which is this server, to validate, to provide the identity to the client that we are a legitimate server, right? So we are good for now with this, and click next. And the groups, which groups we are going to allow for this connection to pass through from the wireless, which is a supplicant for the terminology of 802.1x, through the network or to the radio server. So we need to go to the Active Directory domain services, and basically I created a organizational unit called 802.1x, and inside that I create a group called .1x-lan, and I'm going to click and right click inside and add user. I'm going to add a user that calls Edgar, and the username will be Edgar also. And let's type password for this connection. The user, I'm not interested that the user change the password on the next logon, and the user will not be allowed to change the password, and the password will be expires. This is all depends of the needs, and if you are if you're planning to implement this in a production environment, there's a lot of things that you have to put in place, such as the user will change the password, because we the administrators we don't need to know what is the password for our users. Okay, so I create a password for this user, and we finish with that. So let's go back to the NPS configuration, and we're going to add the group. The group is called .1x-lan. If you click, if you type only dot and look for the check name, the checkbox with the bottom will find out which group is referring to that. For example, if we use, for example, at ADMI, or at, I don't have anyone to call in that. Also, we don't have anyone that we call admin, any groups, but I know that we have the .1x /lan. So let's go and click on add and next, and basically this area you can configure the traffic control configuration for that user, or for the communication, but we are not interested in that, so we click next. And basically we're done the configuration. We see the summary. We see the radius client, which is the AP called Wi-Fi instead of the IP address. The connection request policy is secure wireless connection, and we also have another one. Let's go and click finish, and go directly to the radius policies. Let's wait while created policies. So we're done. Let's move to the policies um, area and look for network policies, and we have right now the secure wireless connection, and also we have the secure wired connection, but this is doesn't have nothing to do with the configuration that we made right now. This is for the another video that create a 802.1x using local area network. So I'm going to click on secure wireless network. As you can see, the policy is enabled. We want to grant access if the policies, if this policy request, if the connection request match this policy. And the type of network is unspecified because we are not configuring any VPN or desktop gateway. So I'm interested in constraints. In constraints, we can disable this, the MS CHAP. You know, there's a lot of vulnerabilities with that protocol, and the NAS port type. In the NAS port type, you will click on wireless IEEE 802.1.11. Sorry. Okay, we click apply and OK. And for best practices and exclude any problem, I'm going to stop and start this service. It's going to wait a few seconds. Okay, we're going to start the service again. And basically the configuration from the radio side is done. Let's go move to the access point where we need to specify the radius communication. So for this model, which is the D-Link 615, we're going to click on wireless settings, manual wireless network setup. We need to have the WPS disabled because it's not compatible with radios, and also if you can avoid use this feature, I encourage you to have disabled it because there's a lot of vulnerabilities with the WPS. There's a lot of attacks outside there. So I have the wireless enable. The SSID is .1x. The mode is N, G, and B, and the channel width is 20 and 40 megahertz. And the visibility status is visible. So the security mode that I'm interested right now in this is in WPA Enterprise. So let's go move down, and we'll see that we need to find the IP for the radio server. The radio server basically is our Windows machine, right? Our Windows server. So that's the IP from this guy, and the share secret, which is the password that we set up in the radios configuration. So I'm gonna type again if I made typo. Okay, so I'm going to save the settings. Possibly we have to wait 15 seconds. Yeah. And in the meantime, we can go. This is only for Mac users. You can go here, and you will see that that 1x it's here. The SSID wireless communication. I'm going to click on that guy, and as you can see, it's asking me for username and password. And this is the credential that we add under the group policy called that1x-lan inside the Active Directory. So the user that is only allowed to access this network is Edgar. And let's join that network. I'm going to open this again so you can see. Okay, let me close this. Open network preferences is much better. So, okay, let's go again and try to connect to that network, okay? So Edgar, let's try to join that network. Okay, there's something wrong with my authentication. I'm gonna try again for last time before I make some troubleshooting. It's taking too much. So let's go back and verify a few things. We have the service start. Um, let's see the radius client, which is the AP. The AP is enabled. The friendly name is AP Wi-Fi. Let's verify if I type the correct password, which is secret, and there's no lock. So let's go move to the access point and verify something. Okay, let's go again and verify this is the IP for the server. I was gonna type this again. It's gonna nothing can change, so that was not the problem. Let's verify again. Our we got the secure wireless enable, and the secure wireless connection is enabled also. So I don't see any problem here. Let's go to the network policies and verify the constraints. User can change password after it's expired. No, I don't interested in that. And it's wireless. Okay, let's apply this again. And let's gonna try again. That one X. Let's open the network preferences. Okay, looks like my username and password is wrong. So let's gonna again and this time see the Active Directory user, and I know what happened. I missed something. If I verify the properties for this guy is not member for the group that I create for the group .1x. Okay, so that's a lot. That's a bit um a big fail for my part. So I'm going to open add the user to the .1x group. Let's gonna try again. It happens. Welcome to the IT world. So let's go and find out if I have now communication with that guy. So finally we are connected. The problem was that the user was not in the group part of the group from .1x, and .1x is a group that we allow in the NPS communication. Um, communication, in the configuration, I might say. So basically, I'm going to disconnect my LAN, and we are connected via 802.1x credentials using MS Chat version 2. And if we go, we see that the IP is the 101. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe.